let me see, just make sure that I'm in the right place. Yeah. Okay, so we're going to go through he's going to bring us some of the Zohar here. And then we're going to get into it, I understand that being a posek is a really difficult job because I admire that because you have to make your way through lots of different opinions. And here specifically, you got a lot. So we're on page Reish Aleph. That's really where we're at. We're just going to read the top. Haklal ha'olam mikol zeh is this. Ki nizbar alocha eich kama gedula v'niflo ma'alos adam ma'osa kasei shamarnu. So, I don't know. Okay. The whole day long. There are yichudim in special places. Bechidus tefillas arvis ad sof tefillas amentcha all the way through that time. Let's go over here. Ve'ein sofei shahayudei lekavin kol zecha b'chadamital. So there's no doubt about this. Gorm shachzivugam and diskarm naasim al yadu mamish. Zecha ve'ein kates letachlis l'scharo. Ve'ein lamala b'menu v'yihim b'klal osam atzadikim hagozrin lamata who make decrees down below. B'divrechem eskaimim lamala. So this is a person to go to. This is a person that he just said it. Let's read the light print real quick. Where would it start? Haklal is on light print on page Reish Aleph. It says the Ashri Ma'alaso shel ha'adam ha'ose u'makavein as kol seder hatikune v'chzivugim shel kol hayom kula the whole day long. Umas hamaskilim et tefillas arvis because the day starts at nighttime. Ad la'achar tefillas mincha which refuse the whole day. Shalom macharos v'heim kriya sheman. He says in these things, these are the things that a person has to be miskaben on. Kriya shema the arvis. He says tefillas arvis. Then the tefillah of arvis. The shmona esrei kriya shema shalamita. Kivis etzos lekonein al ha'churban v'galus ha'shchina ha'liben ad alas ha'shachar tefillas shachris of a mincha. So all of these things were the Hakavanot. So then he goes to light print, continuing on again. He says, ha'adam ha'osekain, a person who's able to do this, Hakavanot b'kediboy, that the proper Hakavanot and able to be miskaven through all of this. It's actually he that is able to make these tikkunim. He is doing it. So he just rephrased. Now in the shefa down below, let's pick up the shefa. I'm going to try to read just the black print so that we can move through this. And see what I could do. This is the Aramaic. Let's just start at the top, though, to get an idea. Ve'ein kates v'tachlit l'scharo v'chashlomas ha'inyan. So to conclude this, na'ate kamim ma'amarim bezohar hakodesh shemavur bechem godol ma'alos hakiva v'chatzos halayla la'asok b'torah v'ayin od b'sefer hakodesh reishis chachma. There's more there. And I copied a lot of these mamarim. I think he's talking about the Zohar. The Lashon Zohar. This is what the Zohar says. This is a parsha. This is a pasuk, I guess you would call it, in Bereshis. The Zohar Zayf Palgus Leil at midnight. Gedin Nisar Kutra Bericha Kodesh Baruch Hu is aroused. Who b'nimusoy in his different menhagim. Leishta Shea Im Tzedikaya begins at the Eden. Bahaku shot at that moment they call chuke de barnash de koim the ishta'asha baraisa. When that is happening, happy is the portion of the person who gets up at that time to join in. The hak kushach berichu v'kol tzedikaya de gvin to the eden kuhu saisin the caller. They're all listening to what this man is saying. This man, I think you could say woman also. Ahad the hadahu that says it's written like this: Hayosheva beganim. A person who is dwelling in gardens. Let's say Hayoshev beganim chaverim, the chaverim, a person who dwells in the garden, and he's saying that's where you're entering into at this time if you do this. Chaverim, which he's talking about, I guess it's in Tikaya in Shemayim. Machshiva l'koler tashmi'eni. You're letting me hear this. It's coming through. Lo od. Ela the kudsha berichu mashak alei chad chuta de chesed lemehavet tader nader ba'ama, that he has the word tader here. To be continuously guarded from in the world. The ha iloi v'satayim natrin le. Hadochu dechsed. This is the meaning of this phrase. Yom yitzavach Hashem chasdel uvelayla shirurimi. Okay, the last part, exactly what he means by the shiro and me at 9, but I guess that's what the person is doing. There's another one on the opposite column. It says, Amar Rabbi Chezkiah, Kol man de ishtadel b'chai shata b'charaisa, vadai is le chukot tader b'amal da'asi. He says he has tader vadai is le chukot, he has a portion in the next world, of the coming world. Amar Rabbi Yosef b'mai time tader. What's the reason why he says tader? Amar lechabahochi olifna. This is why we learn this out. The call palvus leilya kad kudsha berichu isar begins to the Eden. So there's we have the same kind of idea. When the Kodesh Baruch Hu, which is Zeranpin, I think, really, you could look at it like that. Kad kudsha berichu isar begins to the Eden, and he comes down and begins to the Eden. I think I'm not sure exactly. Where God usually refers to Bina. Kol anan netiyin de ginsach is ishtakin yater mahachu nachloch de ikre nachol kudumim nachol adonim. Let me read this again because I didn't do a good job here. So kol inon netim. So he starts off with the word netiyin. So netiyin means a seedling or a sapling, something like that. It's something word a plant, something that's planted in this garden. The ginsen of the garden is shtakin yonter b'hachu nachlo. They make more attention b'hachu nachla de ikre nachal kedumim, which is called either by this name. I think you would say the panimi, the flow, the inside flow. Nachal Adonim, like Lashon Eden. I don't know. So once again, there's a river that flows out of Eden. The little Pascha Meimad L'Alma that never stops. A person plugs into that. As if that flow, that river, as Rakek al Reshe is poured out on his head, and waters him, or soaks him, or waters him. Go and this is happening in the midst of these seedlings that he was talking about. Now, I'm not sure the use of that word netiyin that begins to the Eden. In other words, the tzaddikim, but he uses like netiyin means that it's freshly planted. That's what it means to me, or something that is growing there. And mashma that as this person is doing that, he's growing more. Amar Rebbe Yossi v'lo od, not just that. Eloho il v'kulhu tzedikaya de began Eden, the begins of the Eden seisingly. They're all listening to what this person is doing. Chulka chashavian lay, his portion becomes the equivalent of theirs. Bahaku shakyucha de nachla, in that flow of light, of the light of the Ein Sof Baruch Hu that is pouring down there. The ishtakach de islay chulko tader ba'almid da'asa. So therefore, the person has it always has a connection to the world beyond. Okay, I think there's one or two more. Might as well do them and see what how they come out. Here we're on the next page. We're on page for the reference part, page Reish Nun, and we're coming over here. Black print. We'll try to do the black print. V'ha itmar. So it's stated like this. He says this is in Parshat Bashalach. He says over there. This is what it says. V'ha idmar the ikara delaila milpal gusach of ve'elach, that the most precious part of the night is from midnight and onward. V'afal gal the palgu kod misach beklala delaylahu. So even though we understand that the first half of the night, that's also nighttime. Avachal bepalgus leilya kudshach berichu all begins to the Eden. Once again, Kodesh Baruch Hu, this is bringing down the the inner light. Let's see, I see it as their Anpin, but when he says Gan Eden, I'm thinking he means Chachma. So at any rate, he says, all begins at the Eden, goes into that place, Lishtasheh im tzedikaya, to rejoice and celebrate with the tzeddikim. V'kedin boy le lebarnash lemekim leloy barai. So that's why we need to be up at that time in order to learn Torah. So v'hu itmar, it's stated like this: the kudsha berichu v'kol tzedikaya, that begins at the Eden. So the kudsha berichu and all the tzeddikim in the Gan Eden, kuhu saisin the caller, they're all listening to what he says. He said, "Hadahu dechsev." This is the meaning of this. Yoshev beganim. Those who are dwelling in this garden, the garden that we're talking about, this wonderful, wonderful place. Chaverim, where are we? Machshivin the kolech. They're listening to your voice. Hashmieni, let me hear it. We explain it like this: Hayosheva beganim dol knesses Yisrael. What does this mean? So now he straightens it out a little bit for us. He says it refers to Malchus. Because it is she, and her nature is that she seeks him, and so therefore she praises him, the Kudsha Berichu, B'shvacha da'araisa b'leilya, with the praise of the Torah at nighttime, of this Torah, by Shvacha, the tremendous value of it. Happy is the person becomes joined along with her. The in order to give praise to him, the Kudsha Berichu, who v'shvacha da'araisa, and that is the shevach which comes along with the learning of the Torah at that time. I think this is the last one. Let me see. Yeah, this is the last one. So he says, "Avakad asit tzafar," when morning comes. He says, "Yisrael ansecha b'mishtashea be b'kudsha berichu." This is what happens when the light comes. The light of the morning comes. So he says again, the Knesset Yisrael, which is Malchus, a yichud takes place. V'oshi la legaba, and he stands down by her. Sharvita the chesed. This is the Sharvita, the chesed he wants to talk about that we see before. He says that, what does it mean? This is the lashon yichud. He puts inside of her chesadim. She doesn't go up just by herself. It's not just her that enters into this yichud when all of this chesed is coming into her now because of the yichud that's taking place. So that if you could actually be a part of that by learning Torah at that time. Itmar dechsev is what it says, a pasuk Yom Yitzavach Hashem Chasdo Uvelayla Socher Shilemi. So he says, "O Yom Yitzavach Chasdo." So that's the chesed. It's actually coming out. V'Hada Ayelis Hashachar Ikri, and this is why it's called the morning doe. So I like that idea that it's calling the Ayelis Hashachar. I'm not sure exactly what it means. It means the lovable mother deer. I'm not sure what it means, but maybe we're going to find out somewhere along the line. Okay, so that was good, and so we'll stop there, and I'll read the next part. Let me see whether I should finish it. Let me finish it. So we're on page Reish Nun then, and I'm just going to read across the top, and then I'm going to read about the bottom, and he's concluding now. So this is the conclusion. And next time, Hashem, we'll get together, we'll start on Drush 5. So he's Derek Pratt. So that's where we're going now. Amar al-Kasav, I'm reading just the top on the top right now. We'll pick up the light print later. Amar al-Kasav, so the writer writes like this, I guess that's the Marchu. So we've talked in general. He says in general, there's a lot of specifics there. He says b'kol seder halayla, b'aten devar hapratim. So now we're going to the details. Al seder v'nechlochem l'shnei chalokim. So divided into two parts. So the one of them will be b'masha kodem v'shena. What takes place before you go to sleep. Okay, v'chachelik hasheni b'masha achar hatzos, that takes place after hatzos laila b'kumam and the sheni, from your sleep. So let's come over and let's read let's read a little bit more on the top, but we'll just read out the light print. B'chelik harisha b'masha kodem hashena. Daki droshim rabim ne'emrocha b'chubli b'inyan zeh. I've heard a lot. V'echtavam kol echa b'fnei atzma. I'm going to write them all down. You can see them all bilti iruv. We're not mixing them. I'm going to separate them. Of Rishona Azgir Seder HaInyan first, I'm going to talk about the order of this. So then I'm going to get to the Kavanah that you have to have for this. So let's just read the light print. This will be the end of this section here. He says, of this drush, he says, Hine b'kol hadroshim ad hena, nizba'arach b'seder ha'tikuna v'na'asa b'layla b'ofen klali. And it's sort of so what does he mean by an ofen klali? That's what he wants to say. It means he enumerated what's going on. Ma'ata, or what you need to do. Ma'ata ve'eda b'drashim ma'boim maskil l'sader as seder ha'kavanot b'pratos. So he's mavad kavanas tefillas arvis because he's not going to get into tefillas others. Shekavarn is ba'arvel the drush aleph. Apparently, okay. He said, going on light print down, just to the bottom of the left column, he says, the Tikkunim halayla nechloch l'snei, he says, divided into two chalokim, two different portions. Achedek harishon koloch as seder hatikkunim ana'asim kodem v'shena, v'hem kavanas kriya shemash alamit, and he goes through them. V'seder kavanasi yuvur l'chalon b'drush hey, drush yud, so we're going to get to those drushes, of which the hey is right around the corner. V'achedek hasheni hem seder hatikkunim ana'asa la'achra shena. V'hem tikkun chatzos, v'kiya, v'chaliban sha'achrav, v'seder kavanasi yuvur l'chalon b'drush tikkun chatzos. So we're really going to get into that over there. Maskil levar b'drush habo, so they're going to see that as chedek harishon. We'll see the first part, shala tikkunim, v'hem the tikkunim ana'asim kodem hashenim. Light print at the very bottom, and it's the end here. He said, Maknim harav levoyer as a seder difnei siddur as the Russian. Sorry. He's going to get them in order to techida yuvor baklalos as mahus atikunim. First, we're going to see the form, or what the tikunim are, na'asim al yadenu, that we're actually able to achieve. V'achar kach yuvor as seder hagavanos l'maisa bepratos. Well, we're going to get into some more stuff. We're going to need a dayan over there. I don't know if you could find one. We're going to have to find our way through this and find out what really, what really works. Let me stop this here.